Yo, welcome back to Grind, Grit, Repeat. I'm Al.
I'm Austin. What's up, brother?
We got our producer Luke over here.
Big Lou.
Behind the scenes, Big Lou doing the thing.
How we all doing?
Wouldn't be able to do it without him.
On the keyboard.
So, Oz, how was your week?
Oh man, it's been a busy week. We've been talking about it in our little group chat. December, November is a slow month, a couple slow months, but once January, all the rain kind of stops, the holiday kind of stops. Our workload just kind of shoots through the roof. This last month, I've got probably 6 or 7 phone calls, big jobs. But this last week, I've been on my buddy's flooring job. We've been doing some flooring on his house. I've actually been over to Luke's parents' house. They want their kitchen remodeled, so I've been looking at some cabinets, some countertops for them. That's been a big blessing in my life. A local work, especially with a family friend. So that's been pretty cool. But
my brothers and I destroyed that house. So. A lot of
those cabinets are definitely
original.
A
lot of slamming cabinets and all that good stuff. You know?
Wait. You telling me you got brute force, Luke? I know you guys can't see him because he's sitting in a chair.
A little bit.
Luke is not a little guy.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week. I've had a lot of work going on, but luckily locally, and it's been nice. But with the weather kicking up, what about you, brother? I know you've probably been busy. What's going on?
Yeah, just wrapped up actually yesterday. Pretty big job that took about a day more than it was supposed to.
As they do.
Yeah, we had 3 removals in a prune job on a one property, and all 3 of the removals were fully hanging over the house.
Yeah.
So it was quite an undertaking. Had my crew out there. We did a little more than half the job on one day and wrapped it up the next. Luckily, the neighbor watched us, and like they do,
made sure you were doing your job right.
Yeah, and made sure everything was going well, even though it wasn't their property, and hit us up about doing some work for him. So we were actually able to knock out another job for the neighbor. It only took a couple hours, so that was nice. But yeah, like you said, November, December, really slow. Went and did a lot of estimates. A lot of people wanted to wait till after the holidays.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I got, oh yeah, look, let's go ahead and do it, but let's wait till after the new year.
After the holidays.
Yeah, let's wait till after the holidays.
Gosh.
The funny thing is, in the whole month of January, and even leading into February, I had all new jobs.
Yeah.
All the people that wanted to wait
never hit you up.
never called me back. But yeah, so things have definitely picked back up. Really,
those
busy
are March
now.
Jobs.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, it's been good. It's been busy. The storm we just had, I already got a couple phone calls about some trees that branches some came down. Some people are worried. I actually had that client, the job we just wrapped up, literally just texted me saying let me read it real quick. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, pull it up, brother.
What did she say? She said, "I'm so," with a bunch of O's, "glad that you got those trees down."
Yeah.
So that big storm that came through, she was really stoked.
Time and place for everything.
Yep, she was
Perfect timing.
really stoked that those got taken care of before that storm hit. So
right.
Those gusts were hitting 50 plus.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
it was ripping today and yesterday. It was bad.
So anyway, that's been my week. So what do you think? Should we roll right into this couple of videos?
Yeah.
All right. Producer Luke, what do you got for us?
Let's see what we got here. So you guys looking for truck damage, or are we looking at some collaboration of a couple of different mistakes on videos?
Let's start with the truck videos.
Truck video?
I'm gonna be a little
All right.
selfish here. I'm a truck driver, so I like those ones.
Let's see some fun
Ooh, this is more
positioning.
like tree work than truck driving.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Let me get it pulled up here so everyone should be able to
Is
see
that where the
it.
video starts? Because I can already tell what's wrong.
Yeah, that poll doesn't look right. So
Is there even anybody in that Bobcat?
All right, let's see here.
They just tie it off as an anchor.
Right? All right, here we go.
Oh no, he's pulling. That.
Oh.
Was he pulling?
Oh man.
No. Hey, can we replay that?
Let's run it back.
Do you ever see the rope tight? At any point in this video, is there not slack in that rope?
Look at the truck. It's just that's not.
What truck?
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, not anymore. Goodness, that is. You know, the only thing I can hope for out of this video was it was the guy in the Bobcat's truck. It's either a communication error, the guy cutting, and what is that, like a radio tower?
Yeah, it's like a PG&E pole. It looks like it's not.
But there's
California.
no wires. It's like a cell tower, a radio tower. I'm assuming wood.
It looks like that truck is like a write-off. Like they need a new one for the next up-and-coming year. They're like, oh, oops,
Yeah,
oops,
they're like,
it was in the
hey,
wrong spot.
Hey, I actually want a dually. So
The dust coming off the ground too is just great.
is that dust or pieces of truck?
I don't know. It's just.
Oh man, that would. I mean, insurance. You got insurance for a reason, but that would definitely bum me out, especially because I just got a new truck. If that happened on one of my jobs, I don't know what I'd do. I wouldn't drive away because my truck be jacked up. But yeah, that was just, that was. I'm gonna chalk that up to communication error. I don't think the guy cutting told the guy, "Hey, pull," because there was never any tension in that rope.
So what you guys use is what's that rope, the piece of metal, the
block and tackle
at the base of the tree when you're
the porter wrap.
Yeah, the porter wrap. They should have porter wrapped at least half of that thing down.
Instead of doing it one piece.
I mean, fuck, look at that thing.
That's what happens when you hire a guy that can't climb. You hire a guy that can't climb. He goes, I'm just going to drop it at the bottom. How'd they get the rope up there?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we got throw lines in the tree industry, but that was quite a throw. If the dude climbed up there to tie off the rope, just start at the top. What do we got next, Luke?
All right, next one we got here is I think we got a collaboration here of a few different things. Here,
what's that? What's that stuff called?
That's Trek deck right there.
Trek. Well,
Trek. Trek. It almost looks like a wave. You could call it a wave.
Is that a brand or is that what it's called?
Yeah. So you can buy that at home. I mean, they have multiple different brands, but Trek is what you can buy from Home Depot, and that's basically like a wood composite here. And if that was like redwood, any other type of planking that you can get,
like that.
It ain't bending like that. So shout out to Trek if you want to sponsor the podcast. Yeah. But I encourage that you use Trek instead of wood because look what it can do.
Well, let's watch the video. Maybe it's a skate park. Who knows?
All right, let's take a look here.
Oh my gosh.
Beach, they love nature and the ocean. I'm really happy with this when they get back from vacation.
Hold on.
Let's watch that again.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
It's fucking Friday.
It's fucking Friday.
This deck install for a client at the beach. They love nature.
That's
and
a
the ocean.
client at
They
the beach.
love nature. They're gonna be so happy when they get back.
Okay, all right. So I get
right.
that. I get that. You know.
So, yeah. So those waves. I mean, how do you get that far without the client coming out and being like, "Whoa, whoa"?
They're on vacation. That's what the guy says.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're gonna be happy when they get back from vacation.
I don't like it.
All right. What do we got
All right,
next?
let's
What's
roll
this?
next.
This is 4-inch
It
pipe
all
coming
got
out of a
this
garage.
dryer vent tucked up nice and tight against the exterior wall for the
Oh.
client. Delivered
Dryer vent?
Love it.
Did they
Dude,
say
that's the
dryer vent?
Yeah.
Well, as long as you keep the garage open, you're good.
So again, I'm a tree guy and a truck driver. Austin, don't those usually just pop out the wall?
I mean, as a professional, yeah, you usually just pop it out the wall.
Yeah. All right. Well, All right. Well, let's keep going. Let's see what we. This looks like my cup of
Yeah,
tea.
maybe this is you, Alex.
Truck driving in a
backing up
trailer.
trailers and
Looks
stuff.
looks like producer Luke's trailer. Mine's
Hey.
a little bigger than that. But hey, it's not the size that matters.
For the third job of the day.
Hey, you're jackknifing, bud.
Oh, he's almost got it.
And he just pushes it.
He's almost got it.
Hey, but you know what? Hold on, go back. Hold on. If he don't care about his bumper, and he don't care about his trailer, he got it in the driveway. he said
whatever.
He said, I don't care. Go right here, and that's where it went. So
Maybe the doors in the front. Maybe that was
Yeah.
his, maybe that was his
he
thought
said, "Hey, we
process.
got to unload from the front, but I got to be able to get my truck out." He's like, "Send it."
All right, what else you got?
All
Mike?
right, here we go.
Oh, I like the pedestals. Oh,
This
oh.
use fit like a glove. The sink is stable. Got paid.
I mean, got paid.
That's my favorite thing. Okay, so like we said in our last one, we do a lot of reels. We're on Instagram, yada yada, and that's my favorite thing right
at
now.
grind grit repeat.
That's my favorite thing right now is got paid. That's the
paid.
newest
Yep.
thing, like showing off what you did, and they're like, "Shit, I got paid."
So I gotta be honest with you, like, I don't feel like this is
Spindles
something
on
I
this job.
wouldn't
Let me
see.
tell you, these are
Yeah,
perfect
no,
for
yeah,
this
you
use.
see this a lot
Fit like
in
a glove.
commercial
The
buildings.
sink is stable.
Somebody will buy, have a restaurant and they get a commercial bid, and commercial is completely, I mean, night and day from residential. So you get a commercial bid and it's astronomical, and they're gonna just call in somebody, just whoever they find on the street, Home Depot boy, whatever, to come
Right.
in and just do this type of work. And yes, it was cheap, but as as you could tell, it was cheap.
But again, not my forte.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
so you. It does look stable.
I-
it looks sturdy.
It might work. It might work. It might work.
I mean, recycle.
Yeah.
I don't know where those came from, but homie probably charged.
My favorite line is "fit like a glove."
yeah. Yeah.
With that gap.
But, okay,
Yep.
so again, I don't know sinks. Are those holes there naturally?
No.
So he drilled out them holes,
Yeah.
shoved some table legs.
Those are for pedestal legs.
Pedestal legs.
Something for an island or something.
Somehow. Hey, but
Good for you.
he mounted it to the floor.
He did.
They're
Those
not
are-
just
those are
floating
in
on
there.
some 2x4s. Those are anchored into the concrete.
Yeah, good for you. So usually they have like a V groove on the back, and you're supposed to put like a very strong anchor on the back and then set it on top of it.
And they
that way-
float.
and it's like a floating sink.
But you know what?
But
maybe
to each
he
their
couldn't
own.
find a stud and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I got these table legs in the back of my truck that I cut
Yeah.
off to balance a table or whatever the heck he did it for."
I like it.
He made it work.
I like it.
I guess that's blue collar. I don't know. But yeah, all right.
All right. Well,
there's-
going from worst jobs to let's we got a question that we had
Ooh,
sent.
what'd we get?
So the question we got here is, what's the worst type of customer and how do you deal with them?
Ooh, Austin, you want to start?
Yeah, I would say that the worst type of customer is the type of person that is not understanding, and that's like the biggest thing. Not everything goes perfect. That not every job is the same. Not every job is, they're not wanting to spend what they should spend. Maybe they want to be in the middle. So it's kind of one of those
Almost
things.
like they have the mindset of what it's going to take,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not realistic.
Like we were saying about, if we want to do our own jobs, we usually just do it ourselves. And there might be a lower, standard because we're getting it done ourselves.
Right,
But
right.
but when you are hiring somebody, and it makes sense, you're spending money, your hard-earned money to have somebody else come in. Oh, I think the power just went out a little bit.
Ooh, the power is flickering, but we still have our computer,
All
so
right, that's cool.
we're working through it. We're working through it.
But
In case you didn't notice.
it's just like one of those. It's just like one of those things where if they're not understanding, so like if they're, I always say no one likes to see the sausage made. Everybody likes sausage, but then if you see it made, you're like, what in the heck is going on? So it's one of those things where if they're asking a million questions before you're done, there's one thing about you being, assertive and wanting to know what's going on during the job, but being over questioning, kind of thinking that you could have done it yourself, telling me how to do my job, like. That's one of the things where you're kind of like,
I'm glad.
then you could have done it.
Yeah, I'm glad you elaborated on that because you were starting to go down a path of how sausage was made. Like, where is this going, Austin?
No.
What kind of clients you got?
What I'm saying is like sometimes people are like, how are you gonna turn what you just demoed into what I'm thinking? And I'm like, well, that's why you shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Like I just demoed your whole entire house. You've never seen your studs of your house and what's underneath it, and you're thinking that I just ruined everything. But then I put it all back together, and you're like, dang, this looks great.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where that's the make or break when
You're not in their head.
Yeah,
They want you to put their vision to life, but they don't know if it's realistic. That's why they called you.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's realistic.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what I want. And can you do it?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I can, but it may not be exactly how.
Exactly.
envision it.
And
Yep.
especially for me, and I'm sure, you too, you go to,
Oh, yeah.
cut down a tree and you're like you just said, I want it to fall it this way, but then it falls that way. And what am I going to do now? Same thing with me. I want to, take out your kitchen or take out this or that and then go from there. But if it doesn't go that way, then there's necessary, avenues that you have to go. Basically, long story short is the worst customer you can deal with, in my opinion, is someone that just doesn't roll with the punches and freaks out and just isn't understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, understanding is a better way to put it than I was saying. Because I do deal with that a lot too.
Yeah.
In tree work, people say, I just want you to do this and that and the other, and it's like, we go through a lot of training and a lot of experience to know how to do what a customer wants, but also keep the tree healthy.
Yeah.
So there's a form of tree trimming. If any tree trimmers are listening to this, it's called pollarding a tree. And pollarding is basically where you go up and you just cut the limbs.
Mm-hmm.
I want my tree to be 20 feet shorter, and somebody goes up and just chops everything 20 feet down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it looks how it looks. It's called pollarding, and then new growth will grow out, but you got these big old,
knobs,
branches and knobs coming up and whatever else. So I had a client last year who the top, 12, 15 feet of three of his redwood trees were dead. Just brittle, dead, gone. Gave him my advice, and he was hell bent on just go up there and chop the top off. I was like, you want me to go up there and just top your trees and then leave it? And he goes, yep. And I said, okay, well, it's gonna be flat. It's a redwood. It's not gonna come to a point. And he goes, a new one will grow at the top. I said, no, not always. Is it possible? Yes. I've seen redwood trees, tops break off, new top grows. Is it possible? Yes. But he had it in his mind. If I went up there and chopped off the top 12 feet of these trees, a new top would grow in a year. And I literally had to have him sign specifically on his invoice.
Oh, really?
Specifically put in there that I am not liable if a new top doesn't grow.
How's his trees looking now? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I haven't gone by. I think it'll go another year before he goes, well, more of the tree died. So can you just come remove the rest of it? But no, I get what you're saying. Definitely it is hard. I would imagine even more so in your line of work to put somebody else's vision to life when it's like you said, studs in the wall, whatever else. To say, hey, I want to put this here. Well, let's say you need studs there to put that there, and they're not there.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, well, I can do that, but I got to move it over 24 inches, 16 inches, whatever. And they're like, no, but I want it there.
Yeah.
And you're like,
or like a leak that starts here, but the next 10 feet is bad. Like, do you just want to repair that leak, or do you want to repair future leaks that are definitely going to happen next year? Like, I'm here, you know.
We had that happen recently. So we are renting, and I take care of most of the stuff myself. However, we had some plumbing issues that were under the house, like mainline plumbing issues. So we had plumbers come out, and they tried to clean it out, and the guy said that he was certain out by the clean out there was a break in the line.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking under the house.
Yeah.
Before it gets to the city stuff. There's a break in the line.
So it's on you, or you're.
It's on the property.
Yes.
management.
Yeah. Not on you.
It's not on me. It's not on me. I've already put a lot of money into a place that isn't mine.
Yeah.
But anyway. So, but it was beyond me to do that clean out. I mean, I did what I could. I stuck the snake down. I tried to clean out what I could clean out.
Yeah.
And whatever else.
Yeah.
And the property management basically said, well, it costs this much to have it put a camera in it. After their clean out, is it working? And I said, well, it does seem to be draining better, but the guy still thinks there's a breakdown there. And they said, oh, well, as long as it's working, we're good. And I was like,
sounds good.
All right. Well, you guys even want to send a camera down there, make sure there's no break. Like, if it was my home and I owned it, that's where I'd be going.
And that's what makes no sense to me. A lot of land, owners or homeowners, that rent, are very nonchalant. It's probably because they own multiple and don't really care.
Yep. They just want to collect the money and go.
Yeah.
Yep. But so my worst type of customers would be along the same line. More so people that want to tell me how.
Think they know and don't.
Yeah. I sent a bid out one time to a client, and I've gotten responses of like, "Thank you, we'll let you know," or like, "Oh, we're just shopping around," or even straight up like, "No, thank you, that's out of our price range," whatever the case may be.
So just to get into a little bit of on depth about that, how does your wife feel about like your bids and stuff like that? Because I know that my wife is like if they don't accept it, then that's on them. Like every time I'm like, babe, I'm about to send out this estimate. I'm like, I like $400, $500, and she's like, shoot, if I owned a home, I wouldn't even think twice, and I would do it right away. And so I send it out, and the people are like,
Yeah.
So how does your wife think about stuff like that?
Mine is she's a little opposite.
Yeah.
More so of like, are you sure it's only going to take that long?
Yeah.
Are you sure you can get it done in one day?
My wife does that.
Are you sure you can do it with only your 3-man crew?
Yeah.
And then I'll say, I think so. Like, if not, like, it is what it is. Like, it'll be okay and whatever else. And she'll always want to up the price. And I will ask her, what would you do if somebody came to us with that price?
Yeah.
What would you do if somebody came to us with that amount for what these people are asking?
My wife goes, I wouldn't, because you would just fix it. I'm like,
same. Same.
Okay.
She goes, well, that's what I have you for. So like, no, I wouldn't accept that bid. And I was like, okay. And like, that's kind of the fine line you got to toe. I mean, it costs what it costs.
Yeah.
That's again, the difference with our podcast as opposed to others is I'm not a millionaire out there, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do what I need to do to help my family and to help clients.
I wish that people would take my quote, my price, whatever, and then go out and give me some feedback. Like if I told them, okay, I can fix your drain or whatever for, $300, whatever, just random. And they're like, well, so-and-so said he can do it for $100. And I want to know, like, okay, what is he going to do for that, that price? Or is he going to do?
Oh, you're way nicer than I am.
Like
I've had people come back saying, "Oh, well, I got a bid for half that amount," and I say, "Good luck."
Yeah. So, but I don't. But I want to know. I want to know like how, because I know you've told me some prices where I'm like, Alex, I will quit my job right now and I'll come help you cut down that simple 2-day tree for $60,000.
But what you don't realize is how much goes into
No, I
that.
know. No,
So what I was going to touch on was I bid a tree for a guy, and this is the one and only time it's happened. I got a response from this guy telling me how many guys it should take, how long it should take.
Those are the best guys,
the cost of equipment, and he was like, so I'm thinking this
sounds
much.
like fun.
Those
Yeah,
are the best.
he
type of
literally
guys.
said, I'm thinking this much, and it was half of my quote.
But,
And I said, do you realize with that much, I will be spending
money.
more? Like, I don't think they realize what the cost of insurance is. I don't think they realize what the cost of equipment is. I don't
So-
think they realize the cost of labor.
My favorite thing about those type of guys are like, okay, then why didn't you go do it? First off, that's the very first question. If you know everything, then why didn't you go do it? Their answer is going to be, oh, well, I don't have the guys, the time, this and that. And I'm like, so where was that price in your bid?
Yeah.
That wasn't in your bid.
Or even come up to me and say, hey, I have this much money. Can you cut down this tree?
Yeah.
And I would say, no.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't,
exactly.
Don't have me drive all the way out to
Yeah.
your property,
Yeah.
which I do free estimates.
Yeah.
I do free estimates.
My wife, yeah.
And it's okay. I don't always get the jobs.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
already have this mindset of what you think it's going to cost, don't. And then the next thing is people that tell me
yeah.
how to do my job.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know so much about what I do, why did you call me?
Bring up that T-shirt
So-
right now.
Yeah.
Bring up that
So I
t-shirt.
sent producer Luke this T-shirt that I found, and it basically explains. This is not real. Let me preface this right now. This is not. This is a T-shirt that is supposed to be a joke. This is not really how I do wages. But you look at the wages on this T-shirt, right? That is again not how I do it. That is not my minimum wage. That's not whatever. But this does explain the type of customers that we deal with, that I deal with. I have the ones that watch. Literally, I did a giant tree up near a house where the customer, their husband, and the neighbors were all sitting on a tailgate across the street, drinking a bottle of wine, watching, applauding every time a branch came down and missed the house. They said, woo! And I said, that's why you hired me. I get customers all the time. Hey, what if you don't have to bring in an extra guy and I just help you do it? And I said, okay, well, how much do you know about knots? How much do you know about rigging? How much do you know about, have you ever ran a saw? What's that look like?
But like the insurance, like what if they get hurt? What if they damage? What if they mess something up?
Why do you think I have people sign contracts and invoices?
Yeah.
To
I'm
be
not
fair,
liable.
I will say I think we talked about it previously. How Austin, you're coming to do work at my parents' kitchen.
Yeah.
And my mom was telling me, she's like, tell Austin to put my brothers to work. And I thought
I already
that was
told
really
her
funny.
too. I already told her. I was like, look, I definitely, if I'm down for you guys to help. All you guys can help is great. I was like, but I want to tell you guys when I need it. I don't want you to do
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
that I don't want you to do. You know what I mean?
People
So
don't realize that's harder than you think.
yeah.
They're
Well,
like, oh, well, I'll help you. And
because
it's
I
like,
definitely need help and definitely want help, and it's definitely easier with Luke's parents. They're family friends. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
If they do something, I'm gonna be like, hey, what the heck, or if they, whatever. But I know that I can talk to them differently than just some random, customer.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely.
I'll
people
tell you.
are like that.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
funny.
I've had my wife come out and help me on
Yeah.
jobs.
Oh yeah.
I have had my wife hauling brush straight up hills in Grass Valley,
Hell yeah.
about 100 yards
Yeah.
up to my trailer, bucking it up. I taught her how to use the saw. I've had her do work, and there's been times when I've had clients ask me, what if I help? And I'm like, I'd rather bring my wife.
Dude, I don't.
No offense, but like my wife can do some labor.
Yeah. No.
Like if we can get a babysitter for the kids,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I had her on a job last week splitting wood.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
saw
see that?
Yeah. She was.
Yeah,
doing
I
good.
had
She
my
was
wife
killing
and I
it.
said, hey, I got a client that asked me about just, hey, you kept all those rounds and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
curious, do you have a log splitter? Can you come out and split them? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I gave him a price and I told my wife, I said, listen, it'll go faster if you can come out and help me run the controls.
Hell yeah.
She straight up went from as soon as the logs were split in half and she could manhandle them, she did.
Hell yeah.
And I said, there's a lot of times where and I will give her credit. She is not designed for physical labor, but she will come help me sometimes on smaller jobs, and I prefer that sometimes over customers.
If I don't mean to brag, or talk any mess, but I have a son. I'm the only one with a son in this room.
He is. I have 3 girls.
and
Luke's
so
got 2.
So dude, I'm telling you, my boy's gonna be like maybe 5 years old, and I'm gonna bring him out to the job. I can already tell every single day. I got my drill and my shit, up in the back, and every single day I come home, my boy's like, "Rom, rom, rom." He's pointing at my truck, and I bring him out to my truck, and he sees my tool bags, and he grabs my drill, and he points. Dude, he's gonna be the best helper that you could ever imagine.
So
free labor.
yeah, right. Family business.
Right.
Family business. And that was
Right.
my post on that one. This is what I mean by family operated.
Yeah.
And I don't have a boy, but my youngest will show up to jobs, bring some lunch, and bring her little electric chainsaw, and want nothing more than to help me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
even then, I'm like, she's gonna grow up and she's gonna be more helpful
Out of
some
all
of these customers.
out of all three of your girls, she's gonna marry a tree arborist that's up in the trees, cutting down trees.
And again, I don't mean to badmouth my clients because most of them know, hey, I can't do this. That's why I'm calling somebody to do it.
Yeah.
And most of the people I'm referring to, I don't get the job.
Yeah.
Because they think they have this mindset of like, oh, I can do it myself.
Yeah.
The neighbor one I told you about that we just did next door, he wanted us to literally cut down half of his tree, because he's like, oh, once I can get a ladder to it, I can do the rest on my own. So, okay. Oh, here we go, Luke. We got the video of my wife at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy.
Just a screenshot here. Just a screenshot.
That's fine,
okay.
but that's fine. But this guy reached out and said, "Hey, I got a bunch of these big rounds. Are too much for me to split by hand.
Yeah.
I need somebody with a log splitter." And I said, "Hey, my wife and I can come out and do it for this much." And again, she went to
That's
work and
sick,
she has no
man.
problem with that. Now, if that guy said, "Well, I can run your log splitter for you," and be like,
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I'd rather pay my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pay my wife. Wait,
kisses and hugs.
Yeah. My youngest, the one I was just telling you about, we got a deal. I said, how much for you to come out? She said 3 French fries an hour.
Dude.
So I had to pay her 3 French
That's a
fries an hour.
steal. That's a steal.
Real quick before you wrap up, Luke, are you able to go back to that shirt? I wanted to get to the last,
Yeah.
the last price on that shirt.
Give me 1 second. I'll get it pulled up.
Talking about, again, this is the question of the worst kind of customers. And I don't even know if the worst kind of customers are my customers, because the ones I'm talking about usually they don't go with me.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Usually the type of customers that I don't want to work for, I can tell right when I walk through the door, right when I shake your hand, I know I don't want to work for you. I can tell you're not going to like my price because it's going to be a legitimate price, not a gum, a gum fix, just like a glued together job. So, like you said, I can already tell right off the bat.
Yep. And so right here, back to that T-shirt, I have the highest priced. Again, this is not real. This is not what I charge. This is just supposed to be a T-shirt. That's
It's more
funny.
than that.
Yeah, it's about $200 more than that. Anyway, if you tell me how to do my job, and that is the one thing. If I call somebody to do something, if I call you, hey, in fact, we talked about this even in the rental that I'm in, replacing the flooring.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. I don't know jack about flooring.
Yeah.
Can I rip it out? For sure.
For
But
sure.
installing it, I think I know, but I really don't.
Yeah.
I called Austin and said, hey, can we do this? What do you think it's going to take? What do you think it's going to cost? I'm not going to tell Austin how to do my flooring. I called him for a reason.
Yeah.
If you're going to call me about doing a tree, or you're going to call me and say, hey, I got this truck and this load I need ran. I need you to drive it, and I'm going to contract for you, and you're not a commercial driver. You just own this stuff. You called me for a reason.
Yeah.
So don't waste my time.
Same with Luke. Like, if...
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yep. That's how I look day in and day out, basically.
Yep. But same thing with Luke. I called Luke so many times before, or texted and everything before we set up this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I don't know jack about tech.
Yep.
I am probably the worst guy to do tech stuff.
Yep.
I don't know anything about it.
Yep.
So I said, Luke, I sent him pictures of everything we got. Mics, all the equipment. Hey, is this going to work? Is this going to work? What else do we need? I don't know.
It's not necessarily a blue collar thing. I think it's more of a godly thing of knowing your place, wanting to learn, if you know about trucking, about, tech, I know about, construction, let's all learn together. Let's not, say, one person knows more or another or yada, yada. And so,
and let's be honest, we're all prideful guys.
Yeah.
We're all prideful guys, but I don't have too much pride
Yes.
to not hit up Luke about
Yes,
tech questions,
exactly,
to not hit up
exactly.
Austin.
Yes.
Austin's
I mean-
hit me up about tree stuff.
Yep.
Austin
Austin
can definitely confirm this. In the past year, there's been a couple of things at my house where I've just been like, "Yo, how much would it be to hire you?" kind of thing,
Yep,
because
yep,
I think it's
yep.
just a little too much.
You just got that plumbing job done, and I was like, I'd probably charge like $400, and you got it done for like $75. I was like, see, you got it done with the right avenue, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then there's been times where he's like, I ask him a question, and then you're just like, "Oh, you can do it." And I was like, "Can I?" And I'm like doubting myself, because I'm working in tech and that sort of thing, so I'm not doing it.
I'm very proud of you
And
for
then I'll
putting
just go and
Yep.
do it.
I'm very proud of you for cutting that concrete out and doing that plumbing.
Hey,
yourself,
that
bro.
wasn't
That's-
me. That wasn't me. I
Well,
assisted,
eh,
but
Hey,
I had
we
to
were
give
here.
Frank.
We were here when you had the rods and you were trying to find the leak and
Yep,
you were doing
yep,
all
yep.
that. So you were
Yeah.
a huge part of that. Even the tree. I came up here one time. There's a tree Luke was worried about. All I did was drop it and make a few larger cuts with my big saw.
Yeah.
And every time I come up here, he's got a few more piles set
Yep,
up. He's been
yep.
cutting it up. He's gonna burn the brush. He's been doing his rounds. In fact, Luke came out to a job that I did and loaded up his entire trailer full of rounds to bring back up here to split.
Hell yeah.
For
Yeah,
firewood.
that was a big load. Big load. Sorry,
I don't
sitting there.
Hey, I don't do little loads, Luke. Come on, you got to know better than that.
It was a big trailer load for my Honda Pilot. So my Honda Pilot's actually been through,
Dude, I'm
blue
not
collar-
gonna.
big
I'm not gonna
old
lie.
camping gear.
Yeah,
and,
he
and
left.
wood.
Hey, he left with that trailer full, and I had my pickup truck and my big trailer like 3 times as full. But still, Luke left with that load full, and
lot.
I was like, "Dude's got an hour and a
I
half
had an
trip,
hour drive home.
uphill, downhill."
Hey,
like,
I'd rather you have a Honda Pilot than a Ford Lightning, bro.
but I told him, I said, text me when you get home. Let me know
Yeah.
that you. I said, otherwise, I will come. We'll load it in my trailer. We'll get you where you need to go. But text me when you get home because
Yeah.
I was nervous,
Yeah.
and he made it. And to me, again, that's the blue collar lifestyle.
Yep.
He has what he has. He has
Yep.
a small little 8-foot trailer. It's got sidewalls on it. He's got a Honda Pilot. It's all wheel drive,
And just
he
sending.
and he freaking showed up. He showed up. We loaded some freaking rounds and weight in that thing, and he got it all the way back up here.
I love it. I love
And
it.
that's, again, the lifestyle.
Yep.
So what? He drives a Honda Pilot and has a Harbor Freight trailer.
Man, you gonna call me out like that?
And he's a Ryobi. And he's a Ryobi guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
It comes out.
Hey, I
The
got a
truth is
Ryobi
out.
drill. I got a Ryobi drill, but I run steel chainsaws.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, let's wrap this one up and
Yeah.
let's get to the questions for the next episode, huh? Let's get some questions going.
yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and send us some questions,
Yeah.
send us some topics,
Yeah.
some things to talk about. We
Hell
have a
yeah.
few, obviously, from ourselves,
Yep.
but we want to hear what everybody else has to say. Keep them rolling,
Yep.
and let's do the thing. And till next time, keep boots on the ground, God in your heart.
Hell yeah.